Over the past few episodes, between gathering the materials to build Oscar the Vexor, the planetary industry, the ice harvesting, Jane's checklist has fallen a little out of sync. Let's take a fresh look at where Jane is now and fill in some of the gaps. Start with the minerals. Jane has checked off all but the tritanium and the pyrite. When Jane was out killing Serpentis battlecruisers and battleships, looking for modules to reprocess for the tritanium she needed to build Oscar, it turned out that after building Oscar, she had a large supply of all these other minerals left over, so she saved away enough of each of them to build the Stratios. Next, planetary industry. Jane's 2 colonies have produced the supertensile plastics she needs for the auto-integrity preservation seals, and the test cultures and viral agents she needs for her life support backup units, and they've also produced the coolant and oxygen she'll need for her hydrogen and oxygen fuel blocks. Finally, ice harvesting. Between the blue ice and the glare crust, Jane has been able to reprocess ice into all the heavy water, liquid ozone, and strontium clathrates she needs for both kinds of fuel blocks. She also has enough oxygen isotopes for the oxygen fuel blocks, which leaves only the hydrogen isotopes for the hydrogen fuel blocks. You may remember Jane from a once popular series of books used to teach children how to read. Jane left that conventional life portrayed in those stories to become a capsuleer, but it left her with a chip on her shoulder. Far from conventional now, she has committed herself to following 4 cardinal rules that she calls her guiding stars. Her vision is to build a Stratios and fly it on a pilgrimage to the Eve Gate. These are the continuing adventures of Jane Honesty. The last bit of ice we need 3 Glacial Mass ice cubes. Glacial Mass is only found in Minmatar space, so here in Odaloof, we should be able to get what we need. About done there, buddy? There, he's done. No, not quite. There he's done, yes. Come on back. Good job. Let's mark that spot. Set. Everybody on board. And again, take it back to station.
Warp drive active.
1 down, 2 to go. Alright, back with our second Glacial Mass, 1 to go. Alright, Bumble's got his last chunk of ice. He's coming back with the goods. Line. There he is. Everybody all aboard. And dock.
Warp drive active.
Alright, so we've got our 3 Glacial Mass. Now there's no way we're going to carry all that back because we can only carry 1 at a time. But what we need from this is these hydrogen isotopes. That's all we really are concerned with. So if we reprocess it in station, now We only have 20 meters cubed to deal with. We can load that up. 22, we might as well take that with us because we can fit it. And 44, have a little extra on hand. But that's what we came for. And back at home, safe and sound. 675 hydrogen isotopes, and for the Stratios, Jane needs 450. All in. With all of her ice collected and processed, Jane can cross hydrogen isotopes off her list as well. And now that ice harvesting is out of the way, Jane is ready to refocus her attention on planetary industry. There are 2 more colonies Jane has to set up to complete the production for what she needs for the Stratios. She needs colonies on both a barren and a plasma planet. The plan for both of these planets is pretty much the same as for the one she's already built. For the barren planet, Jane will build facilities to extract and process base and noble metals into reactive and precious metals. The bacteria needed to combine with the metals are already available from the ice planet colony and can be imported to produce the nanites and mechanical parts. For the plasma planet, Jane will need to extract and process heavy metals and non-CS crystals into toxic metals and chiral structures. She'll import the reactive and heavy metals along with mechanical parts from the barren planet to build the consumer electronics, and then finally to export the enriched uranium and robotics. So everything is set up on the barren planet now, except for that last facility needs bacteria in order to work. So we're going to have to go over to Pelil to our ice planet, grab some bacteria, and download it into the launch pad to get that going. And thanks to the magic of video editing, we now have bacteria in the launch pad. We can create the route into that last facility, get that one started, and pretty soon we should have everything we need from our barren planet. Time has passed, and we have 30 mechanical parts, and we have precious metals that we're going to take to our last colony, and we have plenty of nanites. So let's go get all that. Grab the things, and home we go. 88 nanites. Mechanical parts, 8. For our 4th colony, over on the plasma planet, we're going to need 160 precious metals. So let's load those into Harmony. 160. And 10 more mechanical parts. the rest we can keep as extra. And off we go to set our last colony in motion. Alright, here we are at someplace relatively safe, but we want to establish a colony on this plasma planet, number 2, and we are looking for base metals and heavy metals here. Base metals, heavy metals, both seem to be in about the same spot, right about there. So let's put our command center down, submit that, and then let's do a little bit of an upgrade so that we can get our launch pad built. Launch pad, let's put that right here, submit that, and that's all we need for now. We're going to access the customs office. And when we get there, we want to put these things in. Those go in. Transfer them down. All set. And home we go. Safely back home. For this last colony, let's do things starting from the extractors rather than from the end product facilities as Jane has done with her previous setups. Jane needs to extract 3 raw materials here: base metals, heavy metals, and non-CS crystals. So we'll set up 1 extraction unit for each of those, and Jane can place 1 extraction head on each of them and get them running. Next, Jane needs to process the raw materials into reactive metals, toxic metals, and chiral structures. So we'll place 3 basic manufacturing facilities, and route the raw materials from the launch pad out to each of those, and then send their products back again to the launch pad. For the last part of this, Jane needs to export enriched uranium and robotics. First, we'll put down a facility to make the enriched uranium, but to produce robotics, we first need to build a facility that can build us consumer electronics. So we'll build that facility for consumer electronics first, and then, finally, a facility to build robotics from the mechanical parts we've already downloaded to the launch pad and the consumer electronics we're making here. Route that all together, get everything going back again to the launch pad for export, and we should be all set. In a few hours, we should have it all. Alright, so some time has passed, and it's time to go pick up all of our things from the plasma planet colony. Off we go. And we have the system all to ourselves. So let's open the custom office and warp there. We want our enriched uranium and robotics. Here we are. All done, home again.
Warp drive active.
Home safe and sound.
Docking request accepted.
Robotics. For the Stratios, we need tube. Enriched uranium. For the Stratios, we need 8. So we have a few to spare. We'll put that in the junk drawer, save it for later. So now, in our Stratios bin, we should have everything we need to finally make our hydrogen fuel blocks. One run we need is going to make 40, which is more than enough for what we're doing. Sure enough, 12 minutes and 36 seconds. At a cost of 31,109 ISK. Yes, we'll take those, please. Same with the oxygens. We have enough now to make our oxygen fuel blocks. Start. And it's time to deliver our fuel blocks, hydrogen fuel blocks. Yes. And oxygen fuel blocks all set. Fuel blocks. Jane has fuel blocks. And, at least for the Stratios build itself, Jane is finished now with planetary industry and ice harvesting. At the end of the day, she's kicking back with a bottle of quaif and she's checking off the first major sections of her build chart, along with the nanites she needs to build her auto-integrity preservation seals later on. With all that out of the way, Jane's thoughts wander back to her childhood, to her brother Dick, who always told her she'd never amount to anything. For him, it had always been about the money and the fame. And where was he now? Jane doesn't know, and realizes she doesn't really care. She goes back to looking over her build chart, plotting a new course for the next stage in her adventure. I'm Casparius. Thanks as always for watching. It's been a long stretch of planetary industry and ice mining the last few times, and as much as I enjoyed that, it really does feel good to be able to mark off a significant milestone along Jane's run, and I'm looking forward to what's next. I hope you are as well. After last week's episode, the Myosin left a comment asking if I'd post my Eve Online referral link. I've added that to the channel links, and many thanks Myosin for the offer to use it. I do this for the love of the game, but it's awfully nice to know that there are others out there who enjoy following along. So, to everyone who's left comments, questions, suggestions, and even the few trolls, thanks for your engagement. Today, as always, if you've made it this far into the episode, you've chosen out of all the things you might have done to take 20 minutes to play Eve Online with me, and I appreciate it.